Rebecca. So today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I would like to read in December, so my December TBR, and I'm really excited to share these. I'm hoping that I will get through all of them. I'm trying not to set like unrealistic TBR because I tend to do that, so I'm going to stick to 4 or 5 books, one of which will be an audiobook, so I'm just going to stick to that. But anyway, let's just see what books that I'm going to hopefully be reading in December. So the first book that I hope to read in December is the one that I've actually started, and that is Aron Flame by Rebecca. So I'm really excited to read this one. Of course, this is the second book in the Fourth Wing series. I love Fourth Wing. I gave it 5 stars just out of like pure enjoyment. I am hoping that this one's going to be the same. I'll admit, like, it's not like amazing like literature or anything. It's just one of those books that makes you feel really excited and really happy to be reading, and one that you just like can't stop thinking about whenever you're actually reading it. So this is the second one, and obviously there's been like loads of hype around this one coming out. If you haven't read or heard of Fourth Wing before, it's basically like a dragon fantasy, and it follows the main character Violet as she tries to compete to join the Riders Quadrant, which is basically this camp that you can join, and there is like loads of activities and potentially life-threatening tasks that you have to do in order to be able to get through and see if you're able to match with a dragon. And not everybody is actually able to match with a dragon. The dragon chooses you, so you can get like the whole way through all of the tasks, but you still might not be able to match with a dragon. But she was pushed into joining the Riders Quadrant, and we get to like follow her through this journey as we see if she can actually survive. So it's kind of like a Hunger Games meets Dark Academia, not even Dark Academia, just Academia meets I don't know what else, because we do follow her in this like college, if that's college, if that's how you pronounce it, that's where we follow her. That's not like the best way of describing it, because like sometimes I find it really hard to describe what fantasies are about. So I'm excited to see what happens in this one. I'm kind of like questioning it because we're going down like that dystopian, weird things start to happen that you don't really expect, revolution kind of vibes, and I'm not the biggest fan of revolutions, so I'm going to see what I think of this one, but I loved the first one. Anyway, I've talked about that for ages, but I did really enjoy Fourth Wing. So the next book that I'm going to be reading is Calla by Colin Walsh. So this is one that was sent to me by Penguin. They reached out to me and asked if I wanted to review this one because they saw a TikTok that I did about The Secret History, and this one is meant to be kind of similar, or like for fans of The Secret History or Donna Tartt. So it was actually Penguin US that reached out to me, but turns out I needed one that could actually be sent to me in the UK. So it turns out that Atlantic Books published this one in the UK. Penguin were able to then ask them to send me through one, which was so exciting. So I'm really happy that I was sent this one, and thank you so much to Atlantic Books for sending me this one and to Penguin for reaching out to me. So essentially this book, I'm pretty sure, is like a thriller. So we follow a group of friends and one friend ends up going missing. We have to like figure out what's going on. I don't really know much more than that, but I have seen this one everywhere and I am really excited to get around to it. I have been like a bit slow on getting to it, but I had like loads going on and I haven't actually been able to get to it in time, but I'm definitely going to be reading it this month and I'm really excited to see what I think of it. And they also sent me a signed edition, which was really, really nice. So it's just really nice to have like a signed copy, and I actually love the cover. Like, I think it's so nice, especially like the spine is quite nice and sitting on a bookshelf is actually so pretty. So the next one that I am not sure if I'll 100% read this, but I definitely want to read another classic because I haven't read one in ages. That is Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. I recently read North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell and it quickly became like one of my all-time favourite books. Like, I absolutely loved it. I definitely gave it 5 stars. It's one of those books that now that I just always think about it. I absolutely loved it. I have been definitely wanting to get on to another Elizabeth Gaskell book. I wasn't sure like what type of classic that I was in the mood for, but I didn't want one that was going to be like really deep. I don't know why, I just really haven't been in the mood for that kind of thing. I think that Elizabeth Gaskell would be a good one for that. It's just like not one that's going to be like existentialist or something like that, basically, which is like stuff that I've been reading. Like, I read Albert Camus and I'm just not in the mood for that kind of thing. Like, I want something like a bit more, just a bit nicer than that. Basically this one is like a love triangle where the character Mary is like torn between 2 men, which just sounds like perfect, and it sounds like really, really interesting because it also is set in like a social and political setting. So there's also topics of class and discussions about class, which I have also noticed in North and South. I did notice that was like, class was like a big discussion in that, but also Elizabeth Gaskell is like so good at like working around that, so it gets you to like think, but also with like a setting of like a romance, which is just like the best combo. So I'm really excited for that. The romance in North and South was amazing, like definitely a slow burn romance, and it was so good. It was like kind of like enemies to lovers, pretty much enemies to lovers, but this is like Mary has to choose between two men, and Elizabeth Gaskell is amazing at writing female protagonists, so I'm really excited to see what this one's like, because obviously this one is a bit less popular than North and South, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. So if I do finish the rest of those books, because to be honest I'm not the fastest reader, I don't get that many books read in a month. I usually get about 4, maximum 5 month read. So if I get through all of those, because Aron Flame is quite a big book, it's like 700 pages, so if I manage to get through that one, then I'll try Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. I recently read Magnolia Parks and I liked it. I think I gave it like 3 stars. It was entertaining, but it definitely isn't the best written thing. I did find it like quite repetitive, but I do still want to carry on with the series, and this is the second one, but it follows a different character. It follows Daisy Hates. I didn't know that it kind of goes Magnolia Parks, Daisy Hates, and then another Magnolia book, and then another Daisy book, but they're still continuing to come out. But this is the second one, like chronologically this is how you're meant to read them. Basically Magnolia Parks is a series kind of like Gossip Girl, so it follows a rich group of friends, like really rich, like socialites. It follows Magnolia and BJ, and they're being best friends for like years and years and years, but they also used to date, and it's just like that kind of like toxic relationship drama with rich people kind of book. And like it was like okay, like I did like enjoy it. I didn't even like rate it 3 stars because I felt like, oh, it's not that well written. Like I do understand that things have to be taken as they are and like rated like accordingly to that, and like enjoyed accordingly to that. Even within the genre, like I did still find it like okay because of like the repetitiveness and stuff. So I've heard that Daisy Hates is actually a better book, so I am really excited to read this one. I did go out and get it like straight away so maybe that does like kind of measure how much I actually maybe did enjoy it, but hopefully I am going to enjoy this one even more because I am intrigued to see what happens next. So the last book that I'm going to put on my TBR will be an audiobook, which I haven't really decided, so I'm just going to say like a couple of ideas. So I do really want to reread The Secret History because it is narrated by Donna Tartt. To be honest, it hasn't been that long since I read The Secret History for the first time, but I want to do like a couple of like videos, not sure, probably just like TikToks on my thoughts on The Secret History, and I definitely need to reread it in order to do that. But I kind of feel like, should I be rereading something so quickly? But then also I suppose I can do what I want. I do really want to hear Donna Tartt narrating it and like see maybe how that changes it, just even from her tone of voice when she's reading it, because then you can see like how the characters intended like the dialogue and stuff, and how she intended them to be like interacting and speaking. That is an option. Otherwise I probably will go for another Sally Rooney book, because I find that I have like a lot of Audible credits, but I do struggle with the narrators because I find that like they're like robotic and it completely ruins the book for me, or else they're just like weird and like too emotional or something. I just can't handle it, so I have to like find narrators that I like. I recently finished Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. That was my first Sally Rooney book, but I really like the narrator, and especially because they're narrated by an Irish person. I'm not actually even sure if it's the same person. I'm just going to assume that it's the same person. It might not be, but just because they are like Irish people who narrate Sally Rooney's books, it works because Sally Rooney's Irish too, so it's kind of like it flows like a lot better. Sometimes whenever I'm reading via an audiobook, it just feels like really like unnatural, and like I can't get into the book because it feels like a robot is reading to me. Anyway, those are my 2 options. Maybe Normal People, or I can't remember what the other one's called, like the newer one. I'll put up pictures of my options up here, but I'm just gonna have to decide. It's gonna be like a mood reading thing, but I'm probably gonna have to decide soon, to be honest. But I'm definitely gonna try an audiobook. I don't know which one yet. That's all for my TBR. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and hopefully I do get through a few of these books. I am, like, as I said, a really slow reader, so we'll see how it goes, and I'm really excited for all of these. And obviously I'm gonna have some time off for Christmas, so I'll be able to spend like a lot more time reading. I'm really excited for that, and thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, then please give it a like, and let me know if you've read of these books, if you like these books, if any of these are on your TBR as well, and let me know as well if you didn't like any of these books, because I'm always like intrigued to hear people's opinions. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.